love an unfair question.
Okay.
Love being unprepared. Love to be ambushed.
Okay, so the number one cornerback in the country committed to Alabama yesterday, which, is ho-hum news for anybody that's not covering recruiting. But my man's name is Ga'Quincy McKinstry.
Okay, the Cockney rhyming sling of that name, like, he's either gonna be trash or a Heisman.
Oh man! All right, so plays both ways and plays basketball. I think he's gonna get to play basketball at Alabama too, right? And I think they're expressly gonna ask him to play corner at Alabama. And the comp is Trevon Diggs, right? He of my illustriously garbage Dallas Cowboys, but pretty outstanding for Alabama in the last couple of years. Anyway, do you know what this man's nickname is? And I'm all anything you want to throw against the wall, and then I'll tell you.
Is it Candyman 3 times?
Man, that'd be so good, especially with Halloween this weekend. That'd be so good. But my man's nickname is Kool-Aid.
Okay, I don't hate that.
And no,
don't hate that at all. Oh yeah.
Do you know his grandmama nicknamed him Kool-Aid?
Okay, so the story about this is that he just really loved Kool-Aid.
No.
Run around having Kool-Aid tongue mouth, right?
No.
That has to be what the nickname is. It can't be anything sort of like, can't be anything interesting, right?
No, it's wild and it's not interesting and yet it's perfect. My man gets born, his grandmama sees him, and his grandmama sees him cheesing and says, Kool-Aid. Like the Kool-Aid man.
Just like a nickname, so I would give it to my grandmama.
Right, but this is also like, Ga'Quincy is probably number 2 on the all-name team because Ga'Quincy is also, in a recruiting class, or I should say not in a recruiting class, but very close to the same dude that let me go at this another way. The number 1 ranking for the recruiting names of all time, I believe, Ga'Quincy's probably going to be on like number 12 on the list, number 14 on the list, somewhere in there. The number 1 rank has to be De'Coldest to ever do it.
I didn't expect that. You got me in a real soft spot on that one.
His mama named him De'Coldest and gave him the nickname to ever do it. My man is, or not the nickname, the middle name. His name is De'Coldest to ever do it Crawford.
Truly wild.
Two guesses as to where he's going to college.
Duke.
Man, that'd be great.
Temple.
Though, okay, Temple makes more sense, right? Because, black colleges and whatnot. This dude going to LSU.
Oh my, the coldest to ever do it, right?
The coldest to ever do it, Crawford. De'Coldest Crawford.
He has to show out. He has no choice.
Oh man,
you can't roll into a school like LSU where the recent culture is you got to be good.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't be around all these dudes looking at you saying, so your name is that?
And of course,
you can't drop a pass. You can't miss a block.
No, and that's the thing. De'Coldest is a whiteout. So and he's in the 2022 recruiting class. So we're going to get to see De'Coldest to ever do it match up against Ga'Quincy Kool-Aid McKinstry in the SEC West.
This is why I love sports.
Right?
It's right there.
Oh my God.
You don't get those matchups whenever we talk about, I don't know, who's out there trying to run for like county sheriff. We don't get those.
No.
We don't get those whenever we got like 2 tax agencies next to each other.
I love this so much. This made me so happy. I don't know why it made me so happy, but it did. Because I'm going to be out here really yelling about De'Coldest and Kool-Aid.
When you have the name De'Coldest to ever do it Crawford, like let's say you RJ are out there in the world needing something. You say, got a referral from my doctor for the surgeon. His name is Dr. De'Coldest to ever do it. You feel like you are in very good hands, right? Like, oh man, I got a water leak to my house. My carpet is ruined. I need the Coldest to ever do a restoration. You feel like I'm about to get the best, right?
Yo, man, like that's where my head went. I just caught a murder charge, and my blood is at the scene. They got 2 bodies at the house, and I'm in LA. It's not gonna go well for me. Forget Johnny Cochran. I need the De'Coldest to ever do it, Crawford. Can you imagine what the injury attorney ads might look like?
DUIs, domestics, tax evasion. Call 555 De'Coldest to ever do it.
Oh my God. And this man is going to school in Louisiana, which is a wild offside state, right? Like Louisiana, California, New York. Those are the 3 wild offside states when we talk about state laws. So I really want this man to go to law school in Louisiana and be
I hope this man becomes an academic for the rest of his life.
Dr. De'Coldest.
I want this man to be a man for all seasons. I hope he makes it to the Hall of Fame and then gets inducted into whatever Chamber of Commerce Hall of Fame as doctor, philanthropist, activist. I need to see this man become the coldest to ever do it everywhere. So I hope everybody listening to this says, you know what, I don't have a lot of pet projects in my life. There's people. The best way to support somebody is give them a little bit of money. Somebody started a GoFundMe for this dude. We will push him through to greatness.
This is the GoFundMe for De'Coldest to ever do it. Crawford get through med school. Really need him as a neurosurgeon because somebody's gonna need a brain surgery and it's gonna be inoperable, and we're gonna call in Dr. De'Coldest. I'm him, like on some Michael Beasley stuff, right? On some Michael Beasley stuff at the Lifetime, talking about I'm him. Get ready, get this brain surgery.
So said this tumor can catch these hands.
Man,
don't stand a chance in front of De'Coldest to ever, Dr. De'Coldest to ever do it.
These hands don't move. They so steady. Like I need him to have his own wrestling promo.
Oh man, imagine 50 years from now, or maybe not 50, maybe 30 years from now, he writes a book and it's just Gifted Hands, but it's De'Coldest Hands.
All right. For the recruit Knicks, because we here and I know that they're already yelling and stuff like y'all having too much fun. We gonna keep having fun. This is a 5-star prospect, the number 24 player overall in the country, number 1 player at corner, and the number 1 player in the state of Alabama, right? Also, we're talking about comps. I mentioned Trayvon Diggs. Charles Powers says Marcus Peters, which is a good thing or a bad thing depending on what team Marcus Peters is playing for and whether or not you run in cover 3. Because if you run in cover 3 or cover 4, that's probably not a good idea if you got Marcus Peters. That's a real cover 2 kind of corner. Anyway, ridiculously good length, good size, tested really well. 40 time is unverified, but if you're going to Alabama and you get to commit to go to Alabama, I feel like we don't worry about your 40 times. State championships in football and basketball. Alabama Class 6A first team All-State on defense as a sophomore. This is the same state of Alabama where I swear every single year there's one dude coming out of Alabama that I'm like, wait a second, is that man human? You remember TJ Yeldon years ago? That dude from Alabama. And I remember looking at him going, ain't no way you a tailback. You run too upright. And he said, watch this. Speaking of TJ Yeldon, that's a name I hadn't actually conjured in some time.
No, that dude's still doing? He's still footballing?
I don't think so. I read a Bruce Feldman piece earlier this morning about Corey Harris. He's a firefighter.
Carrying that fireman's ladder upright too.
In Miami. Apparently, Ja'Cory Harris showed up to go through fireman's training at 2:49.
Huh.
Yeah. Not on some Mike Williams type stuff.
I was about to say, No, that's fine. I was about to make a big fireman joke, but there's a lot of big firemen out there.
Oh yeah, like when I wrecked my motorcycle, that was a big fireman. Just arms, just like 17-inch pythons. I remember talking to dude about his arm workout. He's like, "Yo, man, genetics." But I hit it hard.
Firemen out here look like Ed Hockley.
But for real though, like dude is bandaging me up, and I'm looking at his biceps just twitching, and I'm like, "Yo, man, what are you doing?" You know, because I'm thinking you're on the gas, and he's like, "Nah, man, all natural."
My dude RJ folded up on the highway after falling off of his bike. The only thing you think about is like, man, I need to get this workout routine.
But
Let me know.
all right. Remember who I am when I'm 17, right? I am just like blossoming physically. Like 6 months from then, I win a national championship in powerlifting. So all I'm thinking about is swallowing muscle milk and getting these reps in, right? And I mean by 4 to 6 range, right? 8 is a lot. So when I see this man pull up, you know, to help put me back together, I'm like, yo, is you really bursting out of your fireman's uniform? Like, cause you know, they ain't show up like in full gear and whatnot. Man got on a t-shirt, but that t-shirt is super medium. And you know, like you can see that he got that Michael J. Williams bulge in his legs, even in the firefighter pants. I'm gonna notice. You know, and then we get to talk a little bit about, you know, muscle and fitness and whatnot, who's on the cover. Because this is back when Vince McMahon was still on the cover of this stuff, right? You didn't see too much Rock. And I think Jay Cutler was in the middle of trying to unseat Ronnie Coleman. Might have just done it, actually. So, like, I'm heavy into it by then. But I thought about TJ Yeldon because TJ never looked to me like a tailback. And yet, it's like, watch this. I'm going to show you. And I think Ga'Quincy McKinstry has the chance to make us remember him for way more than his name, though that's going to be hard as hell. Because, like, I can't wait to see this man in 2023. I can't wait to see De'Coldest Crawford in 2023 because I'm going to see saying their names every single time they line up across from each other. De'Coldest on Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid on De'Coldest. And it's like, I'm not just De'Coldest here. I'm De'Coldest everywhere, which is, you know, factual. Do you know how mad I would be if that had to be my homeboy? I got to call you D. I can't call you your name. And what do you say to a woman when you trying to talk? What do you say? Do you say your name is D? Do you say your name is Crawford? What do you say?
Yeah, you're probably right. Because the dudes out here, like, we are having fun, but I feel like this may be like 60-40 fun clowning.
Mm-hmm.
And that has to be the world that you live in. So, you know, Dakota's make DC Crawford. Like, all right, that's all right. And it's not until like he pulls out a debit card or his driver's license. Like, wait a second, what's this say?
Like, oh, can you?
Then it's a lottery point whether like she stays.
Well, I mean, all right, you get pulled over by Louisiana PD and you show them your driver's or they hand them your driver's license, they're gonna pull you out the car.
I mean, they were gonna do that anyway.
Ooh. Oh, I just want one of the cops to pull it out, to see it, and be like, "I'll be right back," and then call his homeboys. And just call one homeboy after another.
They want to do that anyway.
Ron is refusing to have fun with this joke. Okay, I'm gonna get off of that. This man said they gonna do that anyway. Oh my god. Last point I'll make. Actually, I don't think I will make that point. I will say this. LSU. Oh my god. I'm trying to think about who this man gonna bring home. More to the point, who's gonna bring him home? You brought De'Coldest Crawford to my house. I look at you. Whose daughter are you?
No, it's gonna be somebody. It's gonna be a woman that goes by her middle name because the first name is like 90 years old. It's gonna be we're gonna get a wedding invite from the coldest to ever do a Crawford with them with Gertrude Taylor. It's gonna be
Gertie.
Yeah, Gertie and De'Coldest. That's what it's gonna be. Elaine and De'Coldest.
This is Margot.
De'Coldest
This is
and Mary
De'Coldest.
Lou.
Oh God.
De'Coldest and maybe a Maddie.
Ooh. Ooh. I can't wait. And you know what? Let this man show out at LSU. Let this man show out there. Like just enough to where everybody remembers his name, like Rohan Davey.